We welcome the Reverend Babcock, who is the vicar of Holy Comforter in Atlanta, which is a mission of our diocese. He will tell you a little bit about that when he speaks to us in a moment. We officially met each other today, even though we've talked on the phone a number of times and have seen each other passing at clergy events in the diocese. We do not really know each other, so it's exciting to make a new friend and have him here in person. I've heard about him before and been wanting to have him come and have him share something about the work of our diocese in this particular context. Matt grew up in western Louisiana on a family cattle farm, and after college worked as a commodities broker for a while, and then went to Yale Divinity School in Haven, Connecticut, served in parishes in Connecticut, Chicago, and then eventually came to Atlanta several years ago to work in St. Luke's, downtown Atlanta, and then fairly recently, several months ago, made the transition over to Holy Comforter, a smaller parish that is a mission in our diocese. And I'm looking forward to what you have to say, Matt, and thank you for making the trip down here to be with us.
Well, good morning. Can you all hear me okay? Good. All right. So we just met, which means no pressure at all. So I guess that means I'm here to cause trouble today. It is so good to be here, to be among you. How many of you have heard of Holy Comforter? How many of you have heard of the Friendship Center of Atlanta? Wow, okay, that's pretty good. For those of you that don't, it's one of the most special places in the Diocese of Atlanta. And it's right, I'm a mission church. I work for the diocese, so in case you wondered, that means that the diocese pays my salary so that a priest can be there. That's a pretty good thing for a parish, right? Priests are pretty affordable, right? It also means that they support our mission in addition to my being in that place. So they provide a pretty substantial financial gift each year to ensure that we exist. And that's an abnormal thing for a diocese to do, in case you wondered or were starting to write down some numbers. That is powerful. Not used to that much power. In case you were writing down numbers to say I should call the diocese and ask for money, there's a reason that we get that support. And it's because the Friendship Center and Holy Comforter represent what I consider to be the soul of the Diocese of Atlanta and its mission in the greater city of Atlanta. I'm going to take that off. Let me turn this on. We'll try again. How's that? Oh, better. Okay. Maybe still too hot. So what we do at Holy Comforter and the Friendship Center of Atlanta is we provide a safe haven and a community of belonging for a very particular group of people that live with multiple and complex needs. That's how we talk about it. The way we talk about it clinically is that to be a member of the Friendship Center of Atlanta, most of those people are people that live with diagnosed severe mental illness, or they've had a traumatic brain injury, or they're people that are unhoused, and they live in group homes surrounding the city. This means that for many of those people, they live with multiple folks in the same room, conditions that you and I would find very abnormal, which means that a lot of their life is chaotic. So we provide a place where they can come and gather each week, and we provide wraparound services to them. So when they show up, we feed them breakfast, we feed them lunch, then we offer them ways to explore the gifts and skills that they have. So we do healing through the art, we do yoga, which is tremendously fun, and I didn't know you could do that from a chair, but you can. We do art. We build mosaics and paint together. We write together. We study together. We learn how to read together. We learn how to be friends together. And all along the way, behind the scenes, while they're having great days, we are working with their counselors and with their caregivers and care coordinators to make sure that all of the resources that are available to them are being used so that they can live their best, most fulfilled, and happy lives that they can. It's a pretty cool place. So if you've never been, the next time you come to Atlanta, come to East Atlanta, come see us, come worship with us. As you can imagine, it is a lively place. As I tell any priest that comes into my church, get ready for a conversation no matter what you are doing. And if you don't acknowledge what they're saying to you, don't worry. They will keep talking right over the top of you. That includes during homilies and the Sunday sermons. It is a wild, wild place where God's imagination is running freely. It is a thing to behold. The first service that I went to when I was incognito, before I accepted the call to serve there, before they recognized that I was a priest among them, I sat in a pew and just wept through the whole service. I come from a church, truly every church I've been at, probably very similar to your church. Very pretty, very proper. We knew what we were doing. We knew how to hit our mark and say our line, right? We know how to pray. We're Episcopalians, at least most of us, right? So I knew what to do until getting to this place and experiencing a new way of worship that was fluid and alive and moving with the people. I mean, the hymn we sang today, one of our favorite hymns. I love that. Take my hand, lead me on. That's who we are. So come see us, but that's not what I'm here for. I just wanted to make sure that you knew why you were forced to sit here and listen to me talk for a little while. Great pleasure to be here among you. I send greetings to you from all those amazing people who I'll get to spend time with tomorrow, and have breakfast and lunch with, and be another part of their communities. Come and be friends with us. So today, I was asked to come and talk about Lenten disciplines. So I guess it's a good time. I'm told, if I remember correctly, we're supposed to talk about self-denial. Okay? So things we give up, right? Maybe now's a good barometer time. How's your Lenten discipline going this year? Who gave something up for Lent? Look, it's not many. How's it going? It's funny, this year I was telling one of you, I gave up coffee this year. For those of you that didn't notice, I was drinking coffee here at the table. I gave up coffee and was in the middle of a sermon at Holy Comforter saying, I struggle with this Lent thing and giving stuff up, and I try every single year. And this year I gave up coffee, but I normally only make it about 10 days. And one of my parishioners says, "Hey, Matt, you were drinking coffee this morning." Day 3. Lenten disciplines, giving something up, self-denial. What does that mean to you? Now, I'm used to people talking, so these aren't rhetorical questions. Please join me in this conversation. What does it mean to you to give something up? Why would we do something so foolish? To focus on God. Thank you, Christy. What else? Not all at one time, guys. You're embarrassing. I think it's being recorded, too. Why do you give something up?
I think this crowd is on the senior side, and we've already given up all our licenses.
Seniors in the room that have already given up their license. That's one way to do it. You win every year. Sorry about that. It's good to have a sense of humor about it. Why would we give something up? What is this whole practice of self-denial really about? Self-control, discipline, humility. Humility. That's a good one.
You don't know the value of what you have until you don't have it.
Don't know the value of what you have until you don't have it. Okay. What else? Think about what Jesus gave up.
Let God fill in the gap.
Let God fill in the gaps. Somebody else over here, I heard something. Appreciation. So when you get it back. Or if you get 3 days in like me and you have that first cup of coffee.
It's historical.
It's historical. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. It's a thing we do. It's part of our heritage. That's why we do it. Anything else you're thinking of? What are the things you don't give up? What's that about? What are the things you never think about giving up?
Shopping.
Say that again. Shopping. Okay. Coffee. Yeah. What an idiot. Huh? What else? Are there things that you would never consider offering up as abstinence of not communion? Books, okay. I would never give up books either, Christine. I couldn't do it. What else?
Going to church.
Going to church. Although a lot of people I know do. What else? Reading. Eating. Yeah, probably a good idea not to give up eating. Don't do that. Socializing. Some people would never do that. Television. Family. Social media. Oh boy. Yeah. Why are there things that exist in the world that seem easy for you to say, I can do without that for a minute? And things that you would go, I can't imagine my life without it. Something to hold on to. Sometimes they're crutches. Thank you. Say more about that.
Well, sometimes whatever it is you're doing, whether it's watching television or a specialty, you do it to avoid doing other things.
Okay.
And it fills in the gaps in your life. Sometimes I think it comes from a lack of something.
Let me give you this mic. You can finish up. So, sometimes tell me if I got this right. Sometimes we do things in life because it fills a void for something we think is missing. So if I can translate that, sometimes we do things because it helps other people not see where we hurt. Is that fair? That'll preach. That'll preach. Come on down. You can preach this Sunday. There is a real power, friends, in what we do, what we don't do, and how we tell the story about it. The season of Lent is a great time for us to think about those things. That's what fasting is all about. That's part of what self-denial is all about. It's about the power of stories, the ones we tell and the ones we don't tell. Now, because I come from a church that tells stories, I'm going to tell you a story. Get ready. But I need help. So can someone be my timekeeper? When it gets a little bit closer to 1, within 5 minutes, will someone just lift their hand up? I mean, that's a lot of pressure for you. Okay. Does anyone know what the Camino de Santiago is? Have you ever heard of this? Has anyone walked it? You have? Wow. How many times? A short portion of one. Did you walk from Sarria on? You were the Portuguese lake. That's a beautiful route. I've done it 7 times. Wow. Y'all are so nice. That's not why I said that. Well, I said that to tell you that I'm a person that struggles with boundaries. I find something I like, and I do it again and again. For those of you that have heard about the Camino de Santiago, what about it draws your interest? Was there anything about it that stood out to you as strange, made you want to read more about it? What do you know of it? Of how the bones got there, okay? So for those of you that don't know, the Camino de Santiago, the way of St. James, James, the son of Zebedee, if you read your Bible outside of Sunday, you don't get that one very much. But there are relics at this cathedral. They're supposed to be the bones of James, the son of Zebedee, who was sent there to be a missionary to these backward folk, right? And those bones got there at some point or another. There are lots of weird stories about that, right? He fell in the ocean in one and was magically lifted out by these pieces of seafood. That's why we wear shells, to tell ourselves that we're pilgrims. Brought in there, all sorts of weird stuff. We just made that up. Did you know? We just made that up. Are they real bones? We don't know. Can't really look at them. They're in a silver box under the cathedral. You can go kneel down there in front of them and look, but you're just looking at a box. Does it matter if they're real? No. Not at all. Not at all. Why? Because they've been there forever, right? For 1,000 years. People have walked that path. What's the holy thing? Is it the relic? Or is it the path? We all enter these sorts of experiences with all sorts of motives. So I want to tell you about my first one. I decided when I went to seminary, I had quit the best job that I was ever going to have from a pay standpoint, a job that I actually loved. I sold my house. A relationship ended really ugly. Anybody ever had one of those? Good. Right? Gathered all the things that were left for me into a box and shipped it up to New Haven, Connecticut. It did not show up on time. I found this out sitting on a blow-up twin-size mattress on the chipped floor of the worst apartment I will ever live in, and by the grace of God, that building has been torn down. And I wondered, what have I done? And I called a priest. You should never do that. They're always troublemakers. I called a priest, my priest, and said, what do I do now? I've made a terrible mistake. He said, well, don't come back here. It's all done. He said, why don't you go on pilgrimage? Why don't you take the questions you have and walk from point A to point B and sleep, and then walk from point B to point C and sleep. You get how that goes, right? Day after day, walk, and bring your questions there. So, I set out on a flight to Spain to walk this way because my priest wanted to live vicariously through me. Little did he know he was setting me on a love affair with this particular pilgrimage that will last my entire life now. But he said to go, so I did it. I loaded up on a plane and I took some things with me because I was going to be a seminarian, right? So I was holier than everybody else. One of the things I took were my prayer beads, if you've ever had some of these. I took my prayer beads and I took my prayer book that was given to me, one of those small ones, the cute ones you get when you're confirmed. So I had those things with me, got on the flight with all the questions doubting my life to go and walk this way. When we landed in Spain at Madrid airport, I was pretty eager to get off that flight, so I stood up quickly with my prayer beads in my hand. They caught the armrest of my seat, and this tiny string broke. Every bead scattered out onto the plane. And everyone around was horrified by this. And I was so embarrassed that I just said, just leave it. Just leave it. Don't worry about it. So here I go. Start my journey without my prayer beads. How would I pray? I didn't know. So I started walking anyway. Got to the first town and decided that it was time for me to pick up and truly follow a discipline of prayer, the way our prayer book says you're supposed to do it, which is multiple times a day in case no one told you. So I reached into my pack for my prayer book. That was the moment that I remembered that I had taken that book out to pray Compline on the plane and just tucked it right there in the seat. And it was on its way back to America. So no beads, no prayer book. Where is God? I have to tell you, I was pretty disappointed as that trip started. Pretty disappointed with all the plans that I had made, with what I thought we were going to be doing. And that's when the regular walking began. And if you've not seen pictures of this or walked around, I should have brought some for you. So that's why you need to hire that out. It's very crowded in certain places. People walking pretty tight in some of these towns. There was one particular group of 4 women, and they were walking in front of me, and they could only be described as loud. Loud. These folks walked shoulder to shoulder down every path, as though no one else was in the way. No one was going any direction. If you were behind them, you were behind them. And if you were subject to their conversation the whole day. That was it. And one of the things about Camino is you just ping pong back and forth. You meet the same people over and over again. So these women were just always in the way. And they were loud. Did I say that? They were loud. I have to admit to you that I thought this pilgrimage was going really poorly. So poorly, in fact, that I had already put it in a list of more reasons why my discernment was wrong. Why the denial I had in my mind of shifting my life around to follow a call was just my ego and a terrible mistake. And that's when I saw a sign ahead of me. And often on the path, there are these signs that give you an option. One option is the easy route. It's flat, it's longer by a couple of kilometers each day, but it's beautiful. And then there's the short path. Do you remember any of those short paths? They're pretty treacherous usually. They cut the distance in half, but they usually send you into some particular things. As I walked up to that sign, there my four ladies went to the left. And I thought, thank God. I carried forward straight. The thing I forgot to do in my elation was to look at the actual sign. This particular day was outside of a city called Rend. And the short path takes you directly down the side of a hill, through a ravine at the end, and drops you off right at a river where you walk across a bridge, home free to your hotel. Cuts off about 3 hours. Huge. I didn't look at the sign. I just walked in. And I had on my back a pack that was about 30 pounds. And as I started to move down the ravine, when I got close to that river, I caught my foot on a stump. And when I tipped forward, my bag moved over my head. Now, I don't know if anyone's a physicist, but this doesn't work well. I tumbled over myself for the last number of feet of that little rocky ravine. Found myself breathless and in pain at the bottom of that road. Now, I'm going to admit to you, I sat at that road wondering at that point if God even existed or if it was a joke. Do you have something on that? 5 minutes already, my God. Wondering if it was real. Wondering why I was there. Hating the path that I'd been on already. And then I heard a sound. It was those women. Loud. Walking up. I did everything I could with my entire body, writhing in pain, to make no eye contact. And the only thing that I saw when they got near me was a hand reached out. The next question was, can we help you? They did help me. They picked me up. They dusted me off. They gave me some pills to put in my mouth. I don't know what they were, but I felt great. From that day forward, we walked together. And we were loud together. And instead of 4 people shoulder to shoulder, now it was 5. And we knew our stories and we spoke them together. I was the washed up, career-chasing person, looking for a new vocation, looking for a way to be honest, looking for a way to be faithful and gracious. One was a teacher who thought that they should resign from their job, only to discover a newfound love for it. One was turning 80 on that walk, and just there to prove that she could still do it, and she did. And she did better than all the rest of us. And one was there grieving the loss of her husband and trying to find the words to say to God how much it hurt for something so dear to be taken away. If we hadn't had the exchange of the story, I would never have known that. I would have walked away, and they would have forever been strangers to me, annoyances to me. So here's my question. When's the last time you shared your story with anyone? I mean, really, tell them your story. Why are you here? What are you doing in this room right now, of all things, listening to someone like me? Why do you come back to this place over and over again? Why do you hear the story of God's love over and over again? What is it that you are searching for? And how do you tell people that story? If you want to deny something of yourself, my advice to you is to deny your individuality. Did you hear that? Deny your individuality. It is a lie. If you think that you are in this world, looking out for yourself, going to make your situation better, that is a lie. Deny that. Lean in to all the people you encounter. Tell them who you are, what you care about, what you hope for in a world that feels pretty devoid of hope most days lately. Am I right? When's the last time you took the risk to tell someone about yourself? To ask someone about themselves? Find out what it is that we are walking in. Let that be your discipline. Let that be a practical thing that you can do. And not just with the people that you know. In fact, those people already know you. Right? Find someone that's new every day. Even in a town you've lived in your whole life, probably. There's someone there. Find someone that's experiencing trouble or need or complexity in their life. And look at them through the eyes of grace. Hear their story. Let them tell you what's happening to them. And offer that hand out. There is a power when you are met in that place. There's a power to that can be undeniable for anyone that experiences it. It changes your life. So deny that lie that we've told ourselves, that this is all about us. Deny the one that tells you that the church is in decline. Deny all those untruths and lean into the community that's at your core, the thing that you are actually here for. That's what's freedom for everybody. That's the work that we get to do at the Friendship Center. That's why I'm so glad to be able to do it. I shared this yesterday. We were preparing for the gospel reading from yesterday, which you all heard, or many of you heard, the longest gospel reading other than the Passion. So you made it through that thing. Good job. I see that a lot where I am, because people take the time not to try to fix others, but instead to know each other. I told the story that one of our parishioners came to me last week crying, trying to tell me a story about something that was wrong, and frankly, a story that I'd heard at least 10 times at this point. I couldn't get her to stop crying. I couldn't even understand half the things she was saying. And then one of our other parishioners, who has a traumatic brain injury, walked up and put his hand around her shoulder and said, "You know we love you, right?" He didn't say, "Stop crying." He didn't say, "I can fix this," or "Let me help you." He just said, "We love you." And she stopped. And she got peaceful. And then we could actually hear the story. We have so much power. We have so much power to help people just by being here. Never deny that. Never forget that. That's our secret sauce. So as the Bible says, go and do likewise. Thank you so much for letting me be here today.